afternoon, everyone. Let's hear some of their GCC power. We're tremendously happy to be here, particularly for this event, this, I think, extremely important event, and happening at such an interesting point in time. We are having tech challenges, but I found my clicker. Amazing. So, what do I want to talk about today, or what should we be talking about over the next 2 days? You know, it's been a fabulous journey. If you all remember, maybe 6 months back, at least I used to wake up every morning thinking, what is the new headline we are going to see for artificial intelligence? Guess what's giving artificial intelligence a run for its money? It is nothing less than the GCC story. Today, headline after headline is about the amazing growth of GCCs in India, what you are doing, the rising star in global capability center landscape, global firms tapping into Indian workers like never before, tier 2, tier 3 expansion, innovation engines for the world, and the headlines just go on and on. In fact, we recently had Swaminathan Iyer, the economist, wrote an article about India being the juggernaut for GCCs, for global capability centers. And recently, I love this article by Swaminathan Iyer. How many of you read it? I mean, this was like the ode to GCCs, right? The brain power flex that is India's best kept secret. And he goes on to talk about how the growth of GCCs is the current government's biggest economic achievement in the last 10 years. So ladies and gentlemen, give yourselves a huge round of applause for what you have achieved and what you have contributed to the growth of this amazing country that we all call home. Today, we are what? We are roughly around 1,600 plus GCCs in India. If I remember the figure right, we are adding like one per month or one per week or something like that, which is pretty amazing. If you look at the top leading companies in semiconductor, in automotive, in retail, you are all here. You are all here, and you are driving some of your cutting-edge innovation from India. The growth of GCCs in India has been nothing short of being absolutely astounding. And the nasscom estimate is that towards the end of this decade, or what we call the techade, the GCC segment is going to cross 2,000, accounting for nearly 2 million plus of the workforce, the total workforce of India, and contributing to around 1 to 2% of Indian GDP. And that's huge. For a single sector to contribute to 1 to 2% of India's GDP, that is absolutely huge. But again, for those of you who know me and who know nasscom, know that we don't believe in goalposts. I mean, I personally feel that the worst thing you can do is set a goalpost for you, because it totally limits you in terms of how far you think, or your aspirations, or your ambitions that you build for yourself. So sorry to be the party pooper, but the question that I have for this extremely elite group is, what's next? What's going to be coming? And sorry, I have missed a slide. But before we go to what next, I think this you know, that India today is the inevitable partner for GCC success. We are the preferred hub. We are the preferred location for GCCs. And it's driven by our talent, by our engineering prowess. Political stability matters tremendously in our sector. Strong economic growth, the fact that we are in a country that is showing such robust economic growth. I think all of these things matter. But then again comes the question, what's next for us? Is this the pinnacle of success that we see? Is this the definition of success for GCCs? And will this be the definition of success 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line? How is it going to change? And what should it, because it's not about how it will happen or what is going to be the future. I think the question is, what do we want that future to be? Because I was speaking with Gunjan this afternoon, and he said something so brilliant and something I totally believe in. It's the actions we take today that shape the future that we will inherit. So what are the actions we're taking today to shape that future that we want to inherit? And what is that future we want to inherit? I don't think we yet have all the answers, but we definitely have a lot of questions. And I think over the next 2 days, I would strongly urge that instead of just thinking about status quo and what are the current challenges, your talent shortage and your tier 2 problems, yes, get them all. They're very important. But they are today's challenges. The framework, the playbook that you have used to get to where you are today, I'm sure you all know this, will not get you to where you need to be in the next 10 years. I think over the next 2 days, it'll be very important for us to have the conversations on where do we need to be in the next 10 years? What is the role of GCCs? And then second, what takes us there? What are the changes that we need to see that will take us there? My personal dream, my personal goal, today you are tremendously important for the success of your companies. You are driving a lot of the innovation that is shaping the business models of these companies, the products, the services of these companies. But can we aspire, or should we aspire, to grow from global capability centers that is shaping the innovation agenda of our motherships? Should we aspire to become the nerve center for global business success? Should we aspire to lead the innovation agenda, not just shape it or not just realize the dreams, the innovation plans, but lead the innovation agenda for our sectors? Should we become the innovation engine for the world's growth and, of course, for India's growth? And this is where the term global transformation hub comes from. In my belief, again, I don't know if this is the right answer or wrong answer. I think we still have a long way to go. But in my mind, in 10 years, the word GCC should not exist. I think it should go away much faster. I think we need to come up with the right way to describe this extremely important sector. A sector that is responsible for global transformation. A sector that is responsible for global innovation, for disruption. And our question is, are we thinking along those lines? There are always three things that work towards making it all possible, right? In my mind, the three most important things are talent, leadership, and of course, technology. And the orchestration of these three things is what creates the magic. And as we think about where we want to be, I think some of the things that we have to get right is a relentless focus on talent development. We cannot sit back and say, and I get scared every time I see these headlines and I see all the talk about how India is a digital talent hub. Yes, we have the numbers, but what about the quality? How do we ensure that our talent is world-class digital talent? It's the best that you can find anywhere in the world. And today, quality often gets determined by the ability of that talent to unlearn and learn much faster. It's all about the learnability. It's about the curiousness. It's about the problem-solving skills. Is our education system doing enough in that space? If not, what more is needed? This is something that you today are such an important voice. You have to raise your voice today to drive, to demand for some of these changes. Stronger leadership pool. I think today or yesterday was a headline, is the next Satya Nadella going to be in India? It's going to be in one of our GCCs. My question is, why not? Why not? But are we growing that leadership pool to be taken that seriously, that we are in the CEO succession plan? I'm sure a few of you are. But how do we get most of our GCC leadership to be considered as top global leadership? I think that's going to be very important. Ecosystem partnerships, you cannot go this journey all alone. If you want to innovate and innovate at the speed of AI, you need partners, you need academia, you need startups. How do you build those partnerships becomes tremendously important. And yes, I don't think we are doing a good enough job today. I think India overall needs a major step change with respect to innovation and R&D. I would say that we are still at the very, very nascent level. And if we think about Viksit Bharat, we think about India becoming a mature economy by 2047, to me, the biggest make or break is our ability to innovate and our ability to significantly up the R&D focus in India, the investments and the outcome in India. And I think, again, as a group which is being looked at by the world as the innovation engine for the world, how do we drive this agenda? Because this will come, it'll so strongly tie back to our own success. We have to build the India innovation narrative much better and much stronger. India, unfortunately, when we go out, when I talk to governments outside, they still see India from a cost arbitrage point of view. We have come so far in that journey. The innovation prowess of India needs to stand out, and we have to build that story. We cannot look at government for everything. I think as an industry, we have to build that story. And last but not the least, and this is the ask to government, we must have a forward-looking policy framework. Issues with respect to transfer pricing, safe harbor margins, we have to resolve this once and for all. Today, India has 45% of the GCCs, which is excellent. But if we want to get to the 60%, the 70%, then we have to make some of these changes. We have to make some of these changes to attract the next 1,000 GCCs. So, the question to you, how do you see the role of GCC at 2047? And we've been asking this question to a lot of GCC leaders. And I'll say something which may not be very popular in the room, but 90% of you talk about today's challenges when you talk about 2047. What does it mean? It means that you are seeing the role remain the same that it is today. Because if the role changes, the challenges will change. So what is the role of GCCs, or what should be the role of GCCs in 2047? Would love to get answers from this group as we debate and as we discuss all the different topics over the next 2 days. At nasscom, our goal is that India has to be established as the best tech ecosystem or partner for the world for innovation. We have to establish India's tech ecosystem as the world's most trusted innovation partner. That's job one for us. And I believe that you will play an absolutely critical role in making that happen. The needle has to shift, and it has to shift big time for us to achieve that goal. Can you be the driver of that change? Can you bring that change about in India, where India is known for its innovation because of India's GCCs? Let's think about it. I absolutely believe nothing is impossible, especially with this group. You have made so much happen. You have turned so many mission impossibles into mission impossible. I think this is something, if we all collectively decide to do, is highly possible. So have a great conference. Look forward to connecting with a lot of you over today. And thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
For more content on tech and leadership, subscribe to nasscom YouTube channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update.